welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Kayla, and today we're gonna get into my sorority Q&A. I posted a video a few months ago asking you guys to ask me some questions on things you wanted me to answer about Greek life at UCF or just about sororities in general, so I'm gonna be answering those questions for you today. If you are new here, don't forget to subscribe, and let's get into this video. So I'm just gonna pull up the questions. One of the first questions I was asked was, are fraternity boys really as aggressive and flirty as they seem? So to answer this question, I mean, people are people, so everybody's a little bit different. Some of them are. Some of them like just want to get in your pants and you can tell. And then some of them are super nice. I mean, at UCF, I feel like I've talked to like a lot of frat guys and everybody has like their own personality. There's no like, oh, all frat boys are like this. Like, no. There's some really nice ones, there's some really rude ones, there's some really friendly ones. If I had to speak for frat boys as a whole, I would say no, they're not as aggressive and as flirty as like movies make them out to be, but there are few in college in general. Even if they were in a frat, like that's just boys. Then someone said, how did you decide between Panhellenic and non-Panhellenic? If you guys don't know, there's MPHC and then there's Panhellenic. Non-Panhellenic basically is what someone would call the black fraternities and sororities, which I don't believe in because there's white people in the black sororities and fraternities and there's black people in the white fraternities and sororities. In Panhellenic, it's mostly white, predominantly white people, Caucasian, and non-Panhellenic, it's more ethnic, but white people can still join and black people can still join Panhellenic sororities and fraternities. So the question, how did I decide between non-Panhellenic and Panhellenic? Basically, I just did some research and I felt like Panhellenic would fit me more just because they were like more bubbly and happy or whatever, and I felt like they were more involved on campus because non-Panhellenic, they don't have houses on campus, which is like one of the big things for me. I never saw them do any type of events on campus. Not to like down non-Panhellenic at UCF because I know we do have them and I've seen some of them a few times. Like I heard them far away stepping one time. I did my research. All the stepping and everything wasn't something that I thought I would be into, and just the sisterhoods and like the brotherhoods are a lot different than Panhellenic. Panhellenic was a lot more involved on campus. They did a lot more things and I just couldn't see myself stepping and like, I don't know, like going to the barbecues that non-Pan has and stuff, which like that could be fun, but I just thought I would enjoy Pan events a lot more. So that's why I chose to go the Panhellenic route and not the non-Panhellenic route, or not go with the Divine Nine. Or like non-Panhellenic, we don't have like the competitions that we do and stuff. They don't really do socials like we do them. It's just a lot different like in terms of the way that we do things, so that's why I chose Panhellenic. The next question, I am transferring to UCF, can you join as a junior? Yes, you definitely can join as a junior, but it kind of just depends. Usually sororities are more hesitant since you wouldn't be there as long. It's kind of like a temporary position within the sisterhood. But definitely if you're a junior, you can definitely still get into a sorority. You can definitely still rush, even if you're older, if you know that you're going to be at your university for a few more years. Definitely for sure make sure to mention that when you go through recruitment, and yes, you can still join. Next question was, what's the most / least amount of bids a sorority can give out? And as long as you stay through the process and not drop, will everyone receive a bid? Each sorority accepts a different number of girls, so I have never really actually handled that. I don't know who's in charge of that, but I know that some accept more than others and some accept less, and some sororities or chapters do spring rush. My sorority did not do spring rush this year, but some of them do, and that's when they take more girls during the spring semester, so like middle of the year. But I don't have an answer to that because I am like not in charge of that. I don't run it or anything, so I wouldn't know. The second part of the question was, as long as you stay through the process and not drop, will everyone receive a bid? So this actually depends on like the girl. Some people don't receive bids or a bid at the end of the process, but most people do. So you may receive a bid on the last day from a sorority that you didn't want, or you may not receive a bid at all. It is up to the people, the sororities that you're choosing. It is possible not to receive a bid, but most people do. Then some Someone asked, are meal plans included in the fee? So I know I've discussed my meal plan for my sorority and some of my previous videos, but not all sororities have a meal plan. So if your sorority does have a meal plan, it's usually required. So within your dues, it is included if it's required. Then somebody asked, do sororities offer payment plans to make it easier to pay off dues? I'm thinking about rushing this year. However, I'm a sophomore. Do you think that will hurt my chances of receiving a bid? No, it won't hurt your chances of anything. You'll know more about the sororities on campus, so it'll be easier for you to find your home. Some sororities do offer payment plans, so we use omegaphi.com, and that's where you can pay off everything, and you can attach like different accounts on there. So say like your parents are paying it for you, your mom pays half, you pay half, or your dad pays half, your mom pays half. You can connect the accounts on there and pay it off, and you can choose like when you want reminders and when you want to pay it. Then someone asked, do a lot of girls get cut, or do majority of the girls rushing end up getting bids? Majority of the girls rushing do end up receiving bids, but I know a few people who do cut or they suicide. It's basically like you don't receive any sororities that you actually like back, so you just drop out of the recruitment rushing process. Someone asks, what would you say is a good response when they ask what made you want to join a sorority? So this is kind of a question you have to answer on your own because it is personal preference, but for me, what made me want to join a sorority, I wanted to have a really close friendship with a group of girls, and I also just wanted to get involved on campus since I was really involved in high school. This is coming from someone else. They said, was it ever tough being African American in a predominantly white sorority? I'm planning on rushing this upcoming fall. Do you have any tips for a minority planning on rushing? I did think that it was kind of hard in the beginning for me to talk to people and make friends, just because I did feel kind of outcasted. There was only 2 other people that were mixed in my sorority. I'm fully black, but then my big and my G were black mixed girls. I don't know, you feel kind of outcasted, and it's not because people are mean or anything or because people are standoffish. Everybody is really welcoming. It's just like no one looks like you, so you're kind of more hesitant to open up, I guess you could say. So yeah, just in the beginning, but after a few months I warmed up to it and everything was fine. Tips for minorities rushing. A lot of girls actually have contacted me saying like, do you think it'd be okay for me to wear my natural hair, or I'm really nervous to rush a pan sorority because I'm black. Don't be nervous at all, especially with my experience at UCF. Everybody was really welcoming and open. Nobody was like really racist or anything. I'd say wear your natural hair because it is all about how you present yourself and your personality. It's not so much about race and, oh, we need more black people in our sorority, so we're just gonna choose her. If you guys have any more specific questions, you can DM me on Instagram and I can answer them for you. I'm transferring after I get done with my AA and I don't know which organization to pick. Also, I'm shy, and with me joining a sorority is me trying to break out of my comfort zone. Any tips in your Q&A? I can't really help you on the organization to pick just because I don't know you specifically, like personally, but I would definitely say do your research, go check their Tumblrs, what is a chapter getting involved in, check their Instagrams. Obviously, you can't base your decision solely off that. You just kind of have to do your own research. Look up which philanthropies each chapter is involved with and the events that they do throughout the year, and you decide based on what you like. So she said her joining a sorority would be kind of like her breaking out of her comfort zone. So tips that I would give for you to break out your comfort zone when you're first joining is to do everything. Go hang out with people, talk in the group chat, participate in events. Don't just skip it because you're nervous or scared after just joining. Being in a sorority definitely helps me break out of my comfort zone a lot more, so definitely stay involved. Go to every event that comes up. Then someone asked me, how did you wear your hair for recruitment? For recruitment last year when I was rushing, I actually had faux dreads. I was contemplating changing. I was like, oh, is this appropriate for recruitment or whatever? But then I realized, what if I actually did have dreads? Like, I wouldn't cut them off for recruitment. So I ended up leaving them in, and I went through recruitment with faux dreads. Then somebody said, transferring to UCF in the fall. Oh, Lexi, actually watch her video. So Lexi, hey, if you're watching. I want to get involved in Greek life, but I don't know if I want to go Panhell or national Panhell route. That's a question that I answered already. Another question was, can you get scholarships for paying the sorority? What are ways you can pay for it? So each week we have a PAN meeting, and that's when we all meet. Everybody in different sororities, we meet at one house on campus, and we just have a meeting to discuss all the Panhellenic events going on. Usually once a month or once every few months they'll offer scholarships, so all you have to do is write out an essay essay and you get sent like a chunk of money if you do win. I know one person who they had like a scholarship and they had leftover money from the scholarship so they could use it on whatever they want, and they used a portion of that to pay for their sorority. So if that's what you mean, like if you have a scholarship where you can designate where the excess money goes, you definitely can use that to go towards paying for your sorority. You can also space it out because she asked for ways to pay for it. Okay, another question that I was asked was, what sorority are you in? So if you guys don't know by now, I'll hold Delta Pi. And then somebody asked, have you ever faced any discrimination? No, I have never faced any discrimination within my sorority or within like Greek life. The only thing I can say is that people make judgments about you solely off your skin color. Not that they're racist or anything, but they'll just make judgments about you until you open up your mouth and like speak to them, and then they see you as like a completely different person. So I know my whole fam in ADPI is black, so like my G-Big's black, my Big's black, and I'm obviously black. Somebody told me, oh, somebody thought that I would automatically only take a black little because my whole fam is black, and that just kind of like irritated me a little bit, because like people make assumptions like that, like, oh, she's gonna for sure take a black little. I'm not against taking a black little, I'm not against taking a little of another race, I'm not against taking a white little. I'm not gonna take a white little to break the pattern, and I'm not gonna take a black little to keep the pattern going. I'm gonna choose my little just because there's somebody that I like. So I've definitely noticed that people do make judgments, but I haven't faced any discrimination so far. And somebody asked, do you recommend going to recruitment week the week before school starts and moving in early? I've already spoken to her, and I actually like spoke to her on Instagram also, but to answer this question, rush week / recruitment week is a separate thing. So if you are going to rush and you want to be recruited, you have to move in early. At recruitment week, that is rush week. So usually, I know at UCF, it's a week early, so you have to come a week early, go through recruitment, and then school starts directly after all those events like bid day and stuff. I hope I answered everybody's questions, and if you guys do have any more questions, you can leave them in the comments down below and I'll start answering them there. If I do get enough questions within the next few months, I might do a part 2. Just let me know what you guys want to see. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you can see my upcoming sorority videos, and like this video, and I'll talk to you soon.